ChatGPT just released a bunch of brand new updates that change everything. They released brand new models, they released brand new features, and you need to make sure that you know about all these changes so that you can take full advantage of the best way to use ChatGPT today. Now, the first new upgrade that we need to make sure that we're discussing is now when you come over to ChatGPT, you're going to see a completely different model selector right here, which is incredible. So now this just goes to simplify this. We have instant for everyday chats, we have thinking for complex questions, and if you're doing something that needs research-grade intelligence, for example, something with science, something with engineering, you're going to be able to use Pro, and you can now very easily actually just go through and switch between these. One thing that I do want to call out is under thinking, you're going to have all these different thinking levels. If you're turning thinking on, I would always have heavy on here, and if you're going to use Pro, I would make sure that you use extended under here, because if you're using these higher level models, there's really no reason for you to use them unless you're using them to the max of their capabilities. In addition to that, now when you come under configure right here, you're going to be able to choose between the latest models, and you're going to be able to choose between what your pro thinking effort is going to be and whether or not that's actually even turned on. So actually, if we come over here, let's just actually come under configure. We're just going to turn this to instant. We could actually have thinking on or off under here, and you could see all the different settings that change under here. You could actually change to make sure that it's just going to be automatically configured to what you want it to actually be. In addition to that, now when we come over into the API for ChatGPT, we are actually going to see that if we come under API documents up here, we are now going to see that we have GPT 5.4 under here, we have GPT 5.mini under here, and we have GPT 5.nano. So there are a bunch of new models that are available, but for right now, these are really only available through here. GPT 5.4 mini and nano are actually going to be what's actually going to be used when you're using ChatGPT Instant, but it won't actually tell you that. But if you're doing something with the API or you're using ChatGPT in a way that actually calls the API, I would strongly suggest you check those out because they are way cheaper models and they're still really powerful. In addition to that, the next change that we need to actually go through is now when you come over to Sora.ChatGPT, you're going to notice that you can now add in new references, which is pretty cool. So if we come over here and we click on plus, and let's say that we go to create something and we want to actually add something in here, we could see that we have different characters here, and we're now going to see references, which is going to be under beta. So if we click on add new right here, this is going to allow you to upload an image of a character or a setting that you want to actually use in your content. And essentially what this allows you to do is have way more consistency. So one thing that you'll notice whenever you're generating AI videos or AI images is that a lot of times it doesn't keep things consistent. For example, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to upload a headshot of myself. So we're going to come over here, we're going to type in headshot, and we're going to be able to add this in here. We're going to name this Rob headshot. We can now come through and we could change the character here. We could change the setting. We could change the style. We could change other. And this is going to allow you to have way more consistency. And then we'll be able to actually save this right here. And we'll be able to use this whenever we go to actually create stuff. And we'll be able to add this right in here. And this allows us to have much more consistent characters, which allows you to create better images and better videos. In addition to that, if we come back over to ChatGPT right here, another thing that you are going to notice is if you come under images right here, you're now going to see a bunch of different styles on images. It gives you a bunch of different prompts, and we also have a bunch of different image libraries right here, so we could see everything that has been created. And this right here is a massive upgrade to ChatGPT because as we see, there are new models coming out, there are new ways to be able to interact with videos, there are new ways to be able to interact with images, and if you want to get super powered results from all this, you want to make sure that you're using the My Prompt Buddy Chrome extension right here. This is going to allow you to come over here and choose what kind of prompt you're using, standard prompt, reasoning prompt, deep research, AI video, AI image, and this is going to allow you to actually paste your current prompt inside of here, what your ideal output is, and you'll be able to get an optimized prompt. In fact, I want to show you the difference between what you get when you use this and when you don't use this. So when we don't use this, we could actually ask it to do something like this. Create an image of a Ferrari SF90 riding through the desert in Dubai. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pull up this Chrome extension right here. Under AI image, we're going to paste this in. Our ideal output is a hyper realistic looking image. So We're going to click on optimize right here. We then have to open up ChatGPT inside of another window. And what this is actually going to do, and notice we do this while we're on ChatGPT, is give us a better prompt right here that we can then put inside of here. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on create image. Now this is going to go through and this is actually going to use this super prompt as opposed to the basic prompt that we had. And this is going to give us way better results to prove to you that you need to be using the My Prompt Buddy Chrome extension, not only for creating images or creating videos, but also just for doing anything whenever you prompt ChatGPT, because your prompt really does determine your output. Okay, so we could see the first image that we got right here. This was just the basic prompt. This is what it gave us right here. This looks solid, but this doesn't really look hyper realistic like what we wanted. Now, if we compare that to this right here, this looks way more realistic. The car looks way better. In fact, it looks more like a Ferrari. We actually have people inside of here. The dirt and the rock spitting up actually looks way better. The lighting coming off of the car and the reflection looks way better. And it just looks way more hyper realistic than this. In fact, this doesn't really even look like a Ferrari. It looks way too stretched out. Now, the best part about My Prompt Buddy is you can go to the pinned comment below and get started with it today for free. This tool is also going to work with Gemini, with Claude, and every other LLM that you use. And once you start to use these 10x better prompts, you're never going to look back, because it's going to help you get way better responses from ChatGPT and all of the other LLMs so that you can continue to get more work done and be way more productive. So what are you waiting for? Go to the pinned comment below and get started with My Prompt Buddy today for free. Now, the next set of changes that we need to talk about are actually going to be inside of Codex, because there are 4 recent changes. The first one is now if we come over here, we could see that they added in a ton of new models right here. So you have more impressive models that you can actually go through. In addition to that, we're going to see that they now have sub-agents inside of Codex. This allows you to delegate your work to sub-agents that work in parallel. So instead of things happening one after another, you now have all these different sub-agents that are spawning and working on things together. If we click on try now right here, we'll be able to see that we literally just have to say spawn a sub-agent to explore XYZ, or spawn a sub-agent to do XYZ, and this will actually get this to happen. In addition to that, what you're also going to notice is we now have automations over here. They have actually broken this out in a really cool way. So we have automations for status reports, for release prep, for incidents and triage, for code quality, for repo maintenance, for growth and exploration. You could actually go through each of these, and if you wanted to do something, for example, update the agents.md file with newly discovered workflows and commands, we could simply click on this right here, and we could choose what work tree this is going to happen under, what project this is going to be under, when this is going to actually happen. We could click on create, and now we have an automation made, and we could actually allow this to use a template or not use a template, but essentially this is going to allow us to automate work that we are doing inside Codex, and this is going to make your life way easier. In addition to that, if we come over to skills here, you're now going to see that you can upload skills inside of Codex in order to give it superpower. You're going to want to make sure that you come through here and you install all the different skills that are going to be necessary for whatever you're coding. For example, if you're doing things inside of Notion, you're going to want to make sure these are installed. If you're doing things with Playwright, aka automating things from inside of a browser, from within the terminal, you're going to want to make sure this is involved. If you're capturing screenshots, turn this on. Basically, this allows you to give your Codex a bunch of different superpowers right here. And all these changes are really making Codex something to mess with. So in addition to all that, I did want to call out that ChatGPT has now added in tons and tons of new app integrations. So now if you come over to apps on the left-hand side right here, you will be able to go through way more apps. In fact, if we come under featured, this shows barely any of them. If you come under lifestyle, you are going to see that we now have way more apps inside of here, which are going to be tools that you are using every single day. In addition to that, if we come under productivity, you're going to see even more. And what this is going to allow you to do is give your ChatGPT access to all of these different features. For example, if we come under here, we could actually see that you can now add in new sources, and you could add apps as sources. So if you want this to go through your Slack and your Gmail, you can connect that. Or if you wanted to connect more, simply just click on connect more right here. And if you click on add more, this is actually going to bring us right back to that page that we were on. And this is going to allow you to do tons of different things. For example, you can create things inside of Photoshop. You can create things inside of Canva. You could actually add stuff from your things inside of ChatGPT to Airtable. You could get this to interact with Zillow. And if we come over here, under new chat and we go to do deep research, what you're going to notice under deep research now is you could have it actually go through and go after specific websites, or you could actually get this to go after apps. So basically what ChatGPT is doing is they're bringing everything that you could do inside of ChatGPT to all of these different apps. And if you actually add things in here, it actually goes through and gives you suggested different reports that you could go through and create and different things that you might want to do based on the different types of apps that you already have connected. You could get this to go through your Gmail, go through Slack. You could get it to go through Zillow. In fact, if we come over here under reports, I actually got this to go through and do a bunch of different things recently. For example, I got it to find me a bunch of different things in Montana. I got this to do deep research. It went through and did 39 searches, cited 6 different things, and it actually used Zillow to actually build me a report on where I should buy a house inside of Montana. In addition to that, if we come over here, we could see that I actually got this to do something else inside of Expedia, which was pretty cool. So if we come under here, under deep research and reports, we could see this right here. I got this to go through Expedia for flight information, and I got this to actually map out the best time for me to fly to a specific location. It goes through the month, the flight, the date, and the hotel dates checked in. And this actually goes through and shows me how much it costs average round trip, how much it is at a 5-star hotel, how much it is for the estimated trip. And this will actually tell you the best time to travel from a specific location to another location. And I was able to do this with the help of AI. Now, if you enjoyed this video, I would strongly suggest you check out this video right here that walks you through a bunch of other ChatGPT changes that you probably haven't heard of yet. If that sounds interesting, I'll see you over there.